Here we go. It is August 1st, and we have some Vinegar Syndrome announcements. I'm Jason Bene. He's Malcolm Harvey. How you going, man?
I'm doing good. It's boiling here, and we had a massive thunderstorm in the afternoon with lightning, and there was trees being knocked down. But then it got all nice and warm again, and now I'm boiling again. But I'm doing great. How about you?
Okay, so I'm not the only one that's like sweltering in humidity. Thank God the camera, what people don't realize with the camera actually does hide a lot of the sweat. The last video
Yes.
we did, I was drenched, man, because I had run from the dentist in pain, drilled on me and stuff, came in, had my glasses off, couldn't see. But anyways, before I move on, if you guys could like, share, and subscribe to our channel, it really does make a difference. I appreciate it. But we're going to talk about Vinegar Syndrome and their August releases. And let me pull up that screen.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Cool.
So, first thing we have is a 4K of
Devil Times 5.
That now this used to be with Code Red, right? With Bill and Walt Olson.
Yes.
Was
Yes,
that
and I think it was released through Kino as well, I believe. The Code Red.
Okay? So was it already out on Blu-ray, but this is the 4K debut?
Yeah, this is 4K debut, but it's been out on Blu-ray, I think, a couple of times. Like the same one, but first through Code Red, then Kino, or maybe just Kino Code Red, but one of them.
I really do like this artwork. I've never seen it. It's something I've been tempted to buy,
I
but
love that artwork.
This artwork is really good. I actually was impressed with all the artwork this week. I guess it's also known as The Horrible House on the Hill, which I like that title.
I think that title's better, actually.
So we have 5,000 units, a limited edition spot gloss slipcover. And yeah, there's a damn good amount of extra features.
Ooh, two discs.
2 disc, interviews with one of the best in the business, Holiday from Hell, which is a 26-minute interview with Nightmare USA author Stephen Thrower. He's one of the best as far as movie knowledge and horror.
Hopefully, somehow we can connect this movie to Jess Franco.
Yeah, he knows a lot about Franco. So
you can say the kid in the red looks like Franco in the slip.
This guy looks like he's on the toilet. Like he's dropping something. I haven't seen it. I don't know what's in the screen grabs, but hey, this is a pretty big release. I mean, they called this in the tease that was a 70s drive-in classic. Do you think that fits the bill?
Yeah, I would say so. I've never seen it either, which is a brilliant sign because it means I'm getting so much sub, but I haven't seen, which is always a win in my view. And I think this goes into it, especially from what I looked at from the trailer and Phil's responses.
So Devil Times 5, 4K debut. That one, okay, this one here, Hell's Trap. Look at this artwork.
Ooh. Nice.
We got it. What is this? A Spanish slasher film. Hell's Trap, also known as Trampa Infernal or Infernal. I like this, man. These are the kind of titles that get me the most excited. I'm actually at a point in my collecting. I don't get worked up over the re-release of a movie that's been on every format. Give me something like this, which I'm pretty sure has never been on disc anywhere.
Yeah.
At least in the United States.
Except for maybe in its home country.
I mean,
or on VHS or something.
Some people like scoff at these kind of films. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This,
Yeah.
It's
I'd rather say like this than saying like The Faculty, for instance, because I've seen it so many times, or The Craft, or a main thing like Child's Play, because at least I see this. I've never seen it before. It's exciting. It could be something incredible. It could be something really bad, but I don't know because I've not seen it, and it could be a new favorite.
So Hell's Trap, aka Trompa Infernal.
Is it from the same person who did Infernal R?
Let me see. I'm loving it. I mean, you can see where this is going with the claws. This is definitely trying to capitalize in the late 80s off of Freddy Krueger, right?
I'd say a little bit.
A little bit. This is from Mexican director Pedro Galindo III, who also did Vacation of Terror 2, which is out on Blu-ray in a double feature with the first film. The Galindo family has done some very entertaining films. I've actually liked, regardless of, I'm assuming they're all, they're related, of course. And I like the Mexican, going south of the border kind of horror films, because I know nothing about them other than these screen grabs that I'm seeing here. I know nothing about these films.
76 minutes. That's a bit short, isn't it?
It is very short. There's a nice making of. There's some Mexican special effects. Interview with the actress. Reversible artwork. Whoever kills the bear will be the winner. I love this subtitle down here at the bottom of the. But you can see the claws. We can see what's going on there.
I'm excited. So far, I'm excited for these two releases.
This is a very kick-ass August. We're starting to get into the fall season, man. This is where things start to pick up. As far as I'm concerned, Vinegar Syndrome's 2 for 2.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe pass the blood in the house.
So, Bloodbath at the House of Death. Vincent Price on the cover. I've never seen it. From what I've heard, his role is not huge, but I don't care. It's Vincent Price. If he's in it for 5 seconds.
He's in it for like 20 seconds, apparently.
Now, look at I mean, they're kicking butt with the artwork. I feel like all of these are really strong. It's a busy artwork, but it works, man. This looks like some sort of lightsaber. I love this.
Oh, it is a lightsaber. You know why, didn't you? Because there's a lot of it's because it's a kind of spoof horror movie. It's got a lot of references to other movies from the time.
Well, and for people that pick this up or are interested in picking it up, Vinegar Syndrome has released quite a few spoofs of the time. So if you go back, they did There's Nothing Out There from Rolf Konevsky. They did Wacko from Graydon Clark, and they also did Pandemonium. This movie feels like it fits with those. So if you like those kind of films, you're going to want this. If you don't like those kind of films, this is probably not something you're going to be interested in.
It's even got kind of a similar cover artwork as well.
Also, this guy here with the glasses and the beard with the axe, that's Kenny Everett. He's probably most
famous for the Kenny Everett show.
Right. Well, he, like in the mid 70s, when people like DJs and stuff weren't willing to play Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, which many consider now to be, one of the greatest songs of all time, it was Kenny Everett who actually was playing it over and over and over, and it got it picked up steam from there. So Kenny, unfortunately, go ahead.
What I was going to say was Kenny Everett was a real rebel and never released one of his series, and you could tell from watching the comedy of it, but he was very, I would say, ahead of his time.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Kenny Everett did eventually become really good friends with Freddie Mercury, and sadly, they both passed away from complications due to having AIDS. Freddie was 1991. I believe Kenny was a few years afterwards, but it's nice to be able, that's what's the beauty of physical media and movies. And you can go back and watch these films and it's like they're still alive. You know what I mean? Like, here they, that's something I really appreciate now when I watch movies, especially when I see people that are no longer with us, like Kenny and Vincent Price.
Yeah, Kenny and Vincent Price, and probably a couple of other people in it as well. It's nice because in a way, like you were saying, it feels like these people live on forever in our hearts because of it.
Yeah, I mean, this was 1984. We got a commentary track. We have Crying with Laughter. interview with the co-writer, interview with the producer, UK trailer, US trailer, still gallery. Oh, love this shot right here with the axe. In the 80s hair that's rising a little bit higher than it should.
It's kind of hot.
It is. I'm happy, man. This is they're 3 for 3. Devil Time, Hell's Trap, Bloodbath at the House of Death. I'm in, man. What about you?
I'm in for the 3, and I'm happy for them in my sub. Yeah,
so when you're a sub, these mainline films, and all 3 of these they're paid for way back in January for me. If you're a mid-year subscriber, you just paid for it like a month ago or so. But yeah, these movies are like money in the bank. That's the thing I could recommend about subscribing is once you pay that money up front. But now we get into movies that are not part of the subscription, but they do come at a discount, and these look like Malcolm films right here.
Yeah, they are.
So
Living First of Blood says, surely Love and Delivery is Malcolm's release of the year. Just look at that Garfield mask. Definitely. Stephen Chow, definitely all the way. I've been wanting to buy it for a while, but I'm just glad that Vinegar Syndrome released it.
If there is anybody in there commenting, I haven't forgot about you. I will get back. I'm just kind of stuck on this page here, but this is VSA. So this is Vinegar Syndrome Archive. It's something that a subscriber can get a discount at. And we got My Father is a Hero, AKA The Enforcer. And yeah, this is Malcolm big time right here.
This is one of Jet Li's best movies. In this, he actually pretends to kill his son at one point in the movie by strangling him with his hand and throwing him in the trash. It's a very fun movie, a lot of action. This was the period where Jet Li did the best movies in his career. There was Fist of a Legend, there was Fong Sayuk 1 and 2, The Bodyguard from Beijing, and there was The Legend. What was the other one? The Master, but I was never too keen on that one. But yeah, these were Jet Li's best films, even better than the American ones, I'd say.
Is this right before he came to America to become an action star over here, 1995?
Yeah, he came to America, I believe, in 1998.
Okay.
When he did Lethal Weapon 4.
And again, a lot of extras, and somebody who you introduced me to. There's an interview with Wong Jing.
Yeah, Wong Jing, one of my favorite directors for making interesting movies.
Solid, another solid release. So My Father is a Hero, aka The Enforcer.
Yeah, My Father is a Hero. My Father is a Hero has always been the Asian name, and The Enforcer was what it's always been known in the Western world. So I'm glad they call it My Father the Hero, because that makes more sense.
Another VSA, Love on Delivery. Nice. This reminds me of the artwork for, what was that, Bio
Zombie.
Bio Zombie, which was the exclusive, only subscribers got it. This very colorful Shaw Brothers, right?
Shaw Scope. I was shocked when I saw this was originally Shaw Brothers. This was ages ago, because on the Asian site I buy from, it has the thing. I was surprised originally when I saw this was one of them. Okay,
you want to have an aneurysm? Here you go. Boom, boom. Boom,
boom,
boom, boom,
boom. That was that finger was the hint, which made no sense, because how would you have guessed from that finger?
This circle basketball thing looks like Garfield.
It is Garfield.
Oh, it is Garfield. I've never seen the film. What is the reference to Garfield?
It's just a big part of the film. I've not seen the film. I've wanted to, but I've not had a chance to, so this was perfect for me. But if you look, see Garfield mask.
Answered my question right there. There we go. There's a Garfield mask. 1994. That's too much. That's funny.
I'm just glad that Stephen Chow's finally getting a lot more movies coming out in the Western areas, because he's a great comedian and had some really great movies, other than Kung Fu Hustle, because that's what most people remember.
So this is a must-have for you.
Yeah, must-have for me. I bought them.
Ooh. Okay, so now we're going to go into cinematograph. These tend to be more drama.
Yeah.
We have 2 this month. This one was kind of guessed by people early. Thieves Like Us.
A quick note on this. This is the 4K. Radiance in UK released a Blu-ray version. So if you're in the UK and you don't care about the 4K, you can get it from Radiance. Cheaper, probably.
Shelley Duvall, who we recently lost, so it's nice to see her again in this film. But I'm sure a lot of people have never seen this movie. 6,000 units. It's a J-Card Media book slipcase, which I think is par for the course for all their films for their the sublabel.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh wow, 1974. Keith Carradine, Tom Skerritt, Louise Fletcher.
Yep.
Obviously, really early roles for these actors. Yeah, this is not my cup of tea. I'm not saying I would never watch it, but I would not order it to own. That's but the good thing about Vinegar Syndrome is they're getting to the point where they're really covering all genres. So
yeah,
it really opens up the market for them and the fan base.
Yeah.
And then we also have Joyride. Joyride. Let me see what we
Beautiful
got
cover.
here. 4,000 units, 1977. Desi Arnaz Jr., Robert Carradine, Melanie Griffith. Wow.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant cast.
Anne Lockhart. So really early role for people. Yeah. Another drama, I think. Oh my God, look how young. So these two, are you thinking about grabbing these, or are these kind of passes for you?
I picked them up. I've got Things Like Us on Blu-ray already. I was like, I'll get the 4K. Because I will read the booklet in the Blu-ray of Radiance, because I got it for my subscription with Radiance.
Now let's jump into partner labels, okay?
Um,
I'm just going to kind of scroll through these. If there's something you want me to click on, I don't want to click on every one. We'll be here for 3 hours, but
right.
we got A Fat Wreck, The Punkumentary, A Heart of Love from Yellow Veil Pictures, Factory 25, I Am a Sex Addict, which is the biopic about Malcolm Harvey.
Yep. Yes, it is about I lost everything due to wanting to sleep with everybody.
And that's a nice nipply cover there.
It's actually a true story about a guy who was going to get married and he couldn't give up his sex addiction to sex workers.
I want to let people know that I'm noticing they're starting to do FOMO with a lot of their slipcovers. Like quite a few of the films that came out today were only 1,000.
Yeah.
And if you're a big slipcover aficionado, you might want to grab these things within the first couple hours, because this one's not moving too fast, but let's see. La Inocente.
Yeah. This one looked good, so I picked this up.
Yeah, I know they used to do 2,000, 2,500. I'm noticing 1,000 starting to pop up a lot.
It's good in a way, because it means they actually got you actually get value for picking them up instead of there being like 18,000 slips.
Yeah, I think that might be their new philosophy heading forward. Oh, this one looks interesting. Omen? Is this Asian?
No.
Or is it Bollywood? What is this?
No.
Oh, okay. That's just a very nice.
It looks
looking
it. I mean, it looks it there, but it's not.
No, okay. So we got Saturn's Core. We got Okay, Scarlet Diva.
I picked up the poetry of Ding Dong, as I call him, which was the 4-movie Korean set. I missed it through Umbrella when they released it, so I was thankful that they released it. Scarlet
Diva with Aja Argento, Dario Argento's daughter. Obviously, she probably gets very naked in this film, which is probably going to be the best part of the film. You can obviously watch Stendhal Syndrome, Trauma, Phantom of the Opera, and you can get some of her.
And she thinking in one of the other ones. What is the other one she's thinking? Was it Demons?
when she was really young in Demons too.
Yeah.
But these films, yeah, this was let me see, when was this film? Okay, 2000, so turn of the century. Yeah, this seems like this is not something I'm going to grab, but this looks like a Malcolm film to me.
Yeah, I picked it up.
I do like this, clothespin. It's a very good looking.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
that
like
one's.
how the artwork actually goes around the cover.
I've heard of this film, and I'm tempted. Sky Pirates, which looks like some sort of like riff on Indiana Jones, possibly.
I've got the umbrella release of this, the Australian one. It's decent.
Sky Pirates. Okay, this one has 2000 slipcover. Yeah, in the wake of the success of Raiders of the Lost Ark, got it. It's Ozploitation, so it's an Aussie action film.
Yeah.
86. So yeah, this one looks this one's a maybe. I don't think it's going to sell out. Maybe if it gets discounted. Well, I got my subscription, so we'll see. This is very good artwork. This really captures.
And you've got points.
I do have points, not as many as you because I don't buy as much as you, but yeah, I'm really liking that artwork. Super Soul, Sweet Substitute, T-Blockers, which this looks like a Saturn's Core Culture Shock type of film. Look at this.
It does a little bit.
This is it might be the same artist who did some slipcovers for them. God is.
It looks like the same artist. It looks like the same artist who did Night of the Bastard.
It does, and that No, I don't know. Corinne Halbert. I like this tagline. God is a gay porn star. Yeah, that's not going to offend anybody, right? This definitely looks like
that might be why it's called T-Blockers.
Yeah, this looks like definitely an acquired taste. Okay, this is probably the best artwork. Well, I need to go find it because this only had 1,000 slipcovers. They're all gone, and they're down.
You can look at the slipcovers. If you click on the slipcover, you'll see it.
There we go. I have seen this film. It's a decent film. I don't think it's got repeat value to it. I did watch it on Shudder. This artwork is not exaggerating. This is the kind of wonky Ken Russell type of imagery you're going to see in the film.
Yeah.
As much as I don't think I'd watch it again, this kind of artwork is the stuff that makes you want to buy it because it's so good.
Sure.
But I'm going to say something to people. When it comes to these Shudder releases, they're doing very small runs on slipcovers. So when these sales go live on the first of the month at 9 o'clock, or noon, Vinegar Syndrome time, you might not want to wait to buy it with the slipcover, or you're going to end up on eBay paying like $200 for it because the sale went live 7-8 hours ago, and this thing was gone like halfway through the sale. I mean, 1,000 units is just not enough.
7 hours and 57 minutes, 53 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I think it was gone probably 3 or 4 hours into the sale. And problem is we don't know when they're going to drop Shudder films. So you just have to assume, like last month there wasn't one, but you have to assume they're going to drop one once a month because there are some Shudder films I really want to see released on Blu-ray with a nice slip, like Elevator Game. And there's one movie called Candisha, which is from the directors of Inside, the French duo. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a stronger month for partner labels than there has been.
Definitely. I mean, I keep open IFC release The Den on Blu-ray for Vinegar Syndrome.
So let's recap the three mainline titles. We got Devil Times 5 in 4K, Hell's Trap on Blu-ray, Bloodbath at the House of Death Blu-ray, VSA, My Father is a Hero, Love on Delivery, and through Cinemagraph, Thieves Like Us, and Joyride. Did I cover everything? I mean, I can't go to Mezzanine. I know there were a couple. I will look at Mezzanine. I will stop sharing the screen so I can just kind of look at the titles. All right, let me stop sharing that screen.
I don't think they've got nudity on them, but you might have nudity around them.
Yeah, the first one does. We got Woman in Love from Quality X. No, not really. It's more like man boob.
Man boob.
Man boob. And then we also have, this one looks like a really good double feature. I've been hearing about this movie, The Mark and Erotic Passion. The Mark almost looks like it can be like a normal film, but then it's also an adult film at the same
That's because
time.
they are. That's because they are. There's two versions of it. I know that because I was on Facebook and Jared Orner, you know, the guy from Monte Macabre.
Yeah.
He was commenting on it, saying about how there's two versions of their version. The version here has the Triple X stuff in it, which most people have wanted to see for a long time.
Yeah, but those are some great titles, man. So how many did you actually end up buying? Do you know offhand?
7.
And then you got your 3 subscription films, so 10 movies total, but you're purchasing 7 today.
But also got the 2 Melisine, so let's make that 9.
Very good month. I don't think people realize that these are the kind of months that are usually, they're getting better. Yeah. And I know September, October, November, like those 3 months, especially October, November, that's when you're going to be like, damn it, I wish I subscribed, because you're guaranteed a copy. You don't feel like you're squeezing your money as tight because it was paid for a long time ago.
Yeah. I keep getting gutted because every month I go, oh, it's the 7th January set this month, and then I'm like, nope, it's a month away. Another month away, because they don't come out till October.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking at the schedule for the rest of the year. Okay. So for September, we know we're going to get a 3 Blu-ray disc of British murder thrillers featuring Craze, which is with what's his name from
Jack Palance.
Thank you. We're also going to get a 4K debut of a gory 80s studio horror, also a 4K debut of a star-studded 80s giallo. October, we know we're getting Forgotten Gialli Volume 7. We're also getting a 4K of a movie I know you're going to want, Corpse Mania.
Yeah, sure, boss.
November, they're not giving us any titles, but there's going to be 2 UHD debuts of never on disc films. Think about that, never on disc. That can be anything but exciting, because so they're basically going from most likely VHS to 4K. Huge.
So one of them is going to be Thomas the Tank Engine, and the other one's probably going to be Tugboat.
You are obsessed with that. Also, an unrated Blu-ray UHD debut. I don't know what that is. And
it means basically for the first time there'll be the unrated version.
So it's been out there in a censored form, but we're going to get the uncut. And then one Blu-ray disc of a highly demanded horror, which that could be anything.
Well, what annoys me is before they did the update, on the halfway, they actually said it was going to be a box set out in November.
Yeah, I know sometimes like they'll make a schedule and things will change depending on where they are in the process of, the extra features and stuff. So some things do get moved around a little bit. But no, this is a very great month. Since we're talking about Vinegar Syndrome, I also wanted to discuss some other announcements this week and kind of compare and contrast, because all right, so Scream Factory announced a bunch of films this week. I know Shocker is getting its 30th different release.
Woohoo!
We got, I like him. It's a Wes Craven. It's not, one of his best, but it still has a, it's a collector's editions, 4K exclusive poster, which I have no use for.
Yeah.
A ton of extra features. So if you're a Shocker person, that's very good.
It shocked me when I saw it.
You were shocked? It was a shocking announcement.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's last time he directed, a horror film. Again, I don't have much use for the posters and stuff. I just want the film. We got a 4K debut of a strong film, one of the better films of the 2000 to 2009.
Why don't you just get the ones with the posters and then sell the posters on to make your money back for the movie?
Yeah, I don't normally buy directly through Shout Factory or Screen Factory unless it's like a site exclusive.
Oh, I like that slip.
I did not like this Wolfman film because there was just way too much computer generated effects. Maybe not on the level of An American Werewolf in Paris, but not great either.
Yeah, that slip's nice, though.
No, it is nice slip, but it looks cartoony, just like the effects in the film. So
yeah, true. Nothing can look as bad as that Jackal and the Mummy one from bloody Seven.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, the picture.
This has a really good, Benicio del Toro, Anthony Hopkins, and stuff. But I remember watching it once and never really feeling like I needed to return. Robert Zemeckis's Death Becomes Her, which is a horror comedy or a comedy horror. That is the original poster. I do like that a lot.
I do. I would buy that.
Well, you would buy just the boobs on the screen, sure.
Yeah. It's very symbolic, the whole picture.
With the lovely, Isabella Rossellini, Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep, Bruce Willis.
He's lovely, I know, isn't he?
It's weird when you think about Robert Zemeckis. You always go to Back to the Future trilogy and Forrest Gump, and then you forget about films like Death Becomes Her, which
that's true.
I want to say it was supposed to be a Tales from the Crypt film, but I could be wrong.
I believe I've heard that.
Kind of the way From Dusk Till Dawn at one time was going to be a Tales from the Crypt film. I could see that because it's definitely, the comedy, the horror.
Yeah.
There's
payback. It's definitely got the same. It's definitely got the same beats.
Yeah, this is definitely a one. I've never owned this on any format, but hey, buy it 4K. That's the way to roll. George Romero starting off his new trilogy of zombie films: Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead. Yeah, good looking slipcover. It's a good movie. I don't think any of the last three films hold a candle to Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, or Day of the Dead. But this one was, Romero being political without, overtaking the film.
Didn't he do Cockneys versus the Dead as well?
Romero?
Yeah, Cockneys versus Zombies.
I don't know. I don't think he did that one. But you can always double check. But yeah, Land of the Dead, Dennis Hopper, very much was talking about the era of Bush, George Bush, W as a president.
I'm glad you clarified that because I was thinking, was this set in the 80s?
No. But yeah, definitely, George always, was a political commentary without it being, heavy-handed. Devil. Now, this one is a good film. It's the name of the brothers that directed it's the Dowdle, Dowdle. They directed another movie that Screen Factory put out. What is it? The Poughkeepsie Tapes, which is a really good found footage horror film. They also directed another one that's going to come up on the list here. I'll wait for that one. Yeah, these guys, they did the remake of Wreck, Quarantine.
Yeah.
This was actually supposed to be a series, like of theatrical releases, like M. Night Shyamalan Presents, because he produced it, and it never got past this one. This is actually, like a solid, one setting film. Yeah. Really good, and it's 4K. The Dowdle brothers also made, I'll just jump over here, As Above, So Below, which is also found footage.
That one's got that Brian Feldman in it. It was in Superstore.
Yeah, so they actually have released quite a few of those guys' films. Yeah, John Eric Dowdle and Drew Dowdle. Those are the brothers. I skipped over The Blob, a limited edition steelbook, exclusive poster. Probably one of the greatest.
What one is this? Is this the remake or the original?
The remake, one of the greatest remakes of all time. Chuck Russell, the director of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Nice.
I think steel books are ugly, and I only own one of them, and I'll stand by my word on that. I don't like steel books.
I like
I know
some
there's
steelbook designs. I like some steelbook designs, but I really don't like opening them up and worrying about getting scratched.
I know there's some people out there that, think it's the greatest thing since sliced cheese and have been claiming that steel books are the biggest thing just because Walmart carries them. How many people really go to Walmart looking for movies? I mean, I actually find it comical that people are going into Walmart looking for that little bloody disgusting section.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't see anything there that's even worth going into that store
I just
for.
think it's weird that people are going to Walmart to buy the VHSs to Terrifier 2, for instance. It seems weird to me.
Hey, I'm all. Hey, I don't care how you get your physical media, but that movie's available in other formats. I guess you're. I know VHS is still big with some people. I don't know when's the last time you watched the VHS, but it's been a while for me.
Probably 2010, probably. Actually, no, later than that, probably 2000. And so, do I've got nothing against it. I just think it's weird to go, well, to be going to Walmart to pick up VHSs, you know what I mean? Because to me, Walmart's like Asda over here. If you go in, you're going to get groceries or something else, and you just stroll by the movie section and see something pick up. You don't go directly for the media section.
I really think that without getting too off track, the video stores, and I've had this discussion with a few other YouTubers, and they disagree with me. The video store era is dead. It is dead. It is not coming back. How can you say that, Jason? It's, the best thing. I'm like, no, it's not the best thing. And if you say that, you obviously never worked at a video store like I did.
Oh,
And you want to talk about Blockbuster Video was like, oh, the best times of your life because on the weekend, your family would go there. I get that nostalgia. But for an employee who was underpaid, overworked, had customers yell at him, yell at me, don't want to talk in the third person. Why is this movie not in stock? Oh, can you go look at the Dropbox? I think it's the movie I'm looking for. Oh, can you check the Dropbox? Can you check the Dropbox? Yelling at like my employees because I was a manager. I think people are a little disillusioned with what the video store really was about. I mean, as an outsider coming as a customer, I get where that fun. Let's look for the movies, but I kind of was both at the same time.
yeah.
And I remember working until about 2:00 in the morning. We would close at midnight. I had to count all the money, make sure everything matched. I had to restock the confection because we sold like red vines and candy and
Yeah.
sodas, and had to put all the movies back. And man, you come back and do that day in and day out. I mean, it was a grind. But yeah, video stores are not coming back, and that's just never going to happen. Not with streaming. You can hate on streaming all you want. It's here to stay. The video store for this era, and it's been like this for about 15 years. It's what we're doing right now, man. We're checking out websites that are selling stuff directly to us. And somehow, though the video store is dead, this is the golden era of physical media. Absolutely. Because I'll just ask you this, Malcolm, because you've been collecting forever, so have I.
Sure.
These kind of horror cult exploitation films, how long would it have taken you to buy this amount of movies 20 years ago when Anchor Bay and Blue Underground? It would take you 5 years. What you buy in 2 months, right? What you would buy in 2 months for all these different labels, it would take you 5 years to.
Well, if we take into consideration all these companies now, right? I can get a prime example, right? A bit of Sweet Life and JSA, right? I got them both through Tartan Asia from Blockbuster on DVD years ago, right? They both came out on 4K this month from 2 different companies. I never ever thought that would ever happen, let alone pick up other movies so close together that I've wanted like almost for years, If back in the day, I'd have to go in the stores like NBC and that to see Anchor Bay, see this, see that. Most of the time they won't be there, or you'd have to wait even longer periods. So this is the great time. If ever I can just get them online and get them sent directly to me and get them pretty quickly, it's amazing. I do think this is the best time when it comes to buying, but that's only on one reason, if you can afford it, because it's way expensive.
It's overwhelming because the first of the month, just Vinegar Syndrome and Severin. We don't even have to count everybody else. Just those two labels alone, and Scream Factory. Let's just have those three. Look at the announcements I just went over. That was just this week. Vinegar Syndrome's August 1st, and then Scream Factory looking ahead. And I'm like, that alone was like what? Between the partner labels and everything, like 25, 30 movies?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And if you count Kino and their 30-odd releases every month, if you wanted to get them, if you had all the money in the world, and you wanted to build a library of movies from companies every month, you'd probably be buying like 200 to 400 movies a month.
It's the best of times. It's the worst of times. But yeah, so I catch myself when these announcements come out, and let's say I'm a little underwhelmed. I kind of go, you know what? Check yourself, because remember the way it used to be. I've been around long enough that I just the Vinegar Syndrome announcements, the three mainline ones, I've never seen them. I used to think, and I got over this a long time ago, I grew up in the 80s. I know it all. I've seen it all. And I catch myself in like, nope. Every day I'm learning something new.
The truth is, you don't know shit. We never do. We know what we know, but we don't know everything.
But to me, that's very exciting, because I'm not going to try and make a label war, but I'm underwhelmed for the most part by the Scream Factory stuff, because it's a lot of re-releases. The stuff was put on DVD or it was put on Blu-ray, and now it's going 4K. I'm not a 4K guy. I mean, all the 4Ks I own are combo packs with the Blu-ray that were part of a subscription that I didn't ask for, but it was coming my way anyways. Now, if that's the case, I will watch the 4K, but not because I asked for it, because I know it's going to be better than Blu-ray, but it's not going to be substantially
cheap.
It's not going to be Blu-ray to DVD quality. It's not going to be DVD to VHS, right? That kind of difference. So, yeah, underwhelmed by the Scream Factory stuff. For people that are excited, that's good for them. Then I go over to Vinegar Syndrome. I'm like, okay, this is speaking to me much more than the studio, which is a lot of studio horror. All those movies that Scream Factory announced are Universal Pictures, because I know they have a deal with them. That's fine, not a bad thing, but that's more studio horror. They tend to be more franchise horror. I want stuff like that's coming over here from Severin and Vinegar Syndrome, and just the stuff that surprises me. And that's
Infernal Tramp.
Have you ever heard of that film before they decided to release it?
Nope. Do you know what I always find interesting? When you watch things like In Search of Darkness and you never see these titles on them, you see the same old titles mentioned, and that's in 3 documentaries.
Yeah, I mean, so anyways, I think that what we rounded up, we got the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Go check out their website. If you're a big slipcover person.
I just want to say my video store memories quickly.
Yeah.
When I used to go in Blockbuster, right, I used to go in there and I would call them up and they'd go, we've got the movie in. And we'd go in there, me and my dad, and they'd go, we haven't got the movie. Right? I'd go, why haven't you got the movie? It's in the Dropbox. Have a look. Right? And the guy would refuse, and you'd be like, just do it. Right? But no, he wouldn't do it. He'd be too busy filling up confectionery, putting videos back on the shelf, getting all moody. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what? I come in here for a great experience, and the staff are incompetent buffoons. Right?
Okay. I'm going to reach back in my memories. There was here's how you could tell what a new release was by the box. They used to come, and the normal box that we all know it for, right? And it's blue.
Yeah.
Really new release. It was only a 2-night rental, and we would put these red sleeves inside that we could take in and out after a movie was out for a couple months. So, because normal movies were like 5-day rentals, but new releases, we wanted to turn them over. So they were 2-night rentals. So anytime a movie got dropped in the box, because you could see people walking up, right?
Yeah, you could say.
And there was a red sleeve inside. They're like, "Oh, it's a red one," so they know it's a movie that's probably come out in the last month. Yeah. Man, people, I'm talking grown adults, were acting like children. Like, I'd have to go, "Oh, there's a red one. There's a red one." I go open the box, and sometimes, depending on how rude they were to me, sometimes it was their movie, and I said, "Nope, it's not it." because
Oh,
they were so rude to me. I'm like, don't I treat people the way they treat me. And I know that was kind of petty to do, but trust me, you get that for like the phone ringing off the hooks.
yeah.
Sometimes, because you have to remember, this was early to mid 90s. Like the registers would go down and we'd have to go
Yeah.
on manual, which was horrible.
Oh no.
You'd have to write stuff down and in the Dropbox. And so by the time you get to this asshole saying, "Oh, can you being rude to you about, is that I don't know, Independence Day or whatever, the mask or whatever big title would come out, Men in Black." Nope. And guess what? The next person that would come up that was nice to me, I'd have it right by my desk. Here you go. By my register. Here you go. Yes, that sucks. But and also we never held films. When you called, let's say Malcolm's calling and he wants whatever. No, it's first come, first serve. We have to do it for the people that's in the store already, because that's not right that I'm going to hold it for them. Because the minute you hold a movie for somebody walks up to you and asks for that same film, and you're like, damn it. I've already told that person if I...
And then they don't come in.
Well, they do come in and you gave it away to that person that was in the store. It should have got to begin with. So anyways...
I'll tell you a real story, right? Because that one was a joke, obviously, right? Because I was just trying to make fun of what you said originally. When this was the early 2000s, and this was on the decline of Blockbuster, right? They would sell the rental movies, and I'd go in there, and I would look at the previously rental discs. That's how I ended up with all the Titan Asia discs originally. I would go in there and I'd pick up things like Bittersweet Life, things like JSA, things like Chaos, things like R Point, The Isle, name it. And that was that's how I got into the Titan Asia label in the first place. And I'd go up to the counter, and at one point I traded so much into that store, I had over £1,000 in credit in the store. Right, seriously, on the system, right? And they'd go, "What are you going to spend it all on?" I go, "Okay, well, can I get Nintendo Wii? We ain't got any in stock." Have you got this? No. What have you got in stock? Well, we've got this and this and this. No, I don't want that. But thank you anyway. Because I used to go in there because there was this really cute Indian girl in there. So I used to always go in there to look at her and talk to her. All right. And I used to call up on the phone, right, and pretend I was asking. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and I was calling to pretend I was thinking, "Oh, do you have? Do you know if you're gonna have any copies of this in?" And they go, "Oh yeah, we've got 2 copies. If you come down now, they'll probably be here still, because we've had a couple of returns and stuff." Yeah. And that's how it went. But yeah, it was thanks to Blockbuster that I found the Titan Asia label originally, from buying their pre-owned, preview discs.
Yeah.
One of them I had was Muffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Inside the store, anything that was for rent, video games or movies that got sold, it was called PVT. For the movies, it was previously viewed tapes. So they would run the course on any movie or game, especially the movies where we had too many copies of it, and then eventually people weren't renting them. So you rent those out and make money. Then you sell it previously viewed and make money off it. So they were like totally just rolling in dough. And that was the system that worked. And that's kind of how, Blockbuster rolled. Streaming, squashed them.
I think at one point they were like $8.99 the discs to buy previewed. And I thought that was a bargain at the time. And now I'm like, all these discs are like £1, £2 each now. It's like...
To put in perspective, when I started in 1992 at Blockbuster, we rented Laserdisc. It was just VHS, which was probably 95% of the store, 5% Laserdisc, and the Laserdisc did get rented. You couldn't fit those in the Dropbox. You actually had to walk them into the store because they're like vinyl, they're albums, they're huge. But yeah, I mean there were some good memories at the video store. But I think if anybody out there ever wants to bring me on their channel and talk about Blockbuster Video, the good, the bad, and ugly, I got stories for days about some of the stuff that went on. And, like...
When did you just on air?
Huh?
When did you just on air?
Well, I will say this thing. I saved this piece of paper forever. They had a sign that we would work our lunch breaks on the clock, meaning if it got busy and they needed us to come out and help at the register, you would come out. Totally illegal. Had that paper forever, was waiting for like a class action lawsuit so I could be like, here's my proof. I was young and naive and I signed it, but something didn't sit well with me and I saved it forever. I eventually threw it away. There was some very shady shit that went on with the employees. I mean, so luckily what kept me around was my love of films. And for the most part, I got along with the people I worked with because a lot of us were connoisseurs of movies. So when it was slow, you could kind of have banter, like we're doing right now, kind of talking back and forth.
Yeah.
That was the best at Suncoast because that was not renting movies, that was selling films. That was the best because it really was physical media collectors. These people were coming in to buy films, completely different clientele, right? Just
a bit like when people used to go into NBC and HMB and stuff.
It was like Clerks, dude. I loved it. It was like people would come in with the Vegas synopsis, and you could figure it out, and they were blown away, and that made you feel good. Like they just give you a little. There's this movie, in this refrigerator. Oh, the refrigerator. Oh, yeah, that was the refrigerator. Yeah, it's and then we would be able to go check this out. We had microfilm or microfiche. That's how we were looking up movies to find out they were out of print.
Yeah.
We would scroll through it and look and go, that one's never been available. We would call vendors on the phone and go, look, these movies are not available. And people never understood what going out of print meant or moratorium, which Disney was the original FOMO people. They would sell like their movies on VHS or DVD, Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin, and they would stop selling them like every 6 years, but they would bring them back. And every time that worked, they would come back into print and people were like, ooh, Lion King, I'm grabbing, Snow White. And it worked every time, but they never understood. I'm like, it's all marketing. It's all, you guys
Well, that's why Disney before Disney Plus would always make multiple different Blu-ray versions every few years.
Yeah, it was very, but people never understood that going out of print. I'm like, well, people sign licenses and contracts, Vinegar Syndrome might be an exception. A lot of theirs are like for life, but not all of them. But in a perfect world, you want to be able to own them outright as long as your company exists. But some of these are, 2 years, 5 years, and, they go out of print. They might be re-released. They might not. But yeah, back to the topic at hand, Vinegar Syndrome. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say this August announcements? All of it,
I would give it a 9.
I'm giving it a 9 too. It's this is why I'm glad to be a subscriber. Those movies are guaranteed. The mainline releases, discounts, and all the partner labels, and hopefully, people like TerraVision, who I know you have a subscription with, we can do another video on them soon. But they've been really dropping the ball. I don't know what's going on with them.
I got an email from them the other day that said they were going to be announcing a release in about a week or to a week and a half. So that could be like 2-3 weeks from now.
Yeah, I hope that they're a little bit flying under the radar. Maybe that's just because they're busy and they're putting their nose to the grindstone and getting movies out as opposed to announcing stuff. And then
because they said in the email that they had a lot that was coming out, but I just wish they'd give some dates, just to make it a little bit more, because there's nothing worse than being a subscriber or something, or and then not hearing anything for a couple of months. Whether or not it's because they're doing great work or not, which I'm sure they are, there's just something about it that makes you feel a little bit uneasy because you want to know what the next release is going to be. That's the excitement of being a sub,
And you and I pre-ordered through Cauldron Video The Houses of Doom, which is 4 television films, 2 from Lucio Fulci, 2 from Umberto Lenzi. And damn it, it got pushed back to the end of August to ship. When did we order that? 7 months ago?
Oh, it was 6 months ago. It was February.
I mean, I know it's going to take a while. And trust me, Malcolm and I got plenty of movies to keep us busy. But that's one I'm really excited about. I've only seen the Fulci ones. House of Clocks and the Sweet House of Horrors. I want to check out the other films.
Yeah.
And Malcolm and I are going to watch them and do like a
You
dual
can't, right?
review.
Yeah.
Once we've watched all 4, we could kind of comment on it. And it's a beautiful set, great artwork. I know these are not going to be the peak era of these 2 directors. It's more late 80s when the budgets weren't what they used to be, and the Italian film industry was kind of in a little bit of a decline compared to the 70s and up into mid 80s. I get it. But I'm still really want to check those out. But yeah,
Well,
I want to.
hopefully it doesn't get pushed back again.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it doesn't. I always appreciate people for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. I don't talk about that much because I don't want to beat a dead horse, but in the YouTube world and the algorithm, it actually, the likes, the shares, all that really does add up. I mean, I have noticed an uptick lately in viewers and subs, and I appreciate all that. I'm not trying to make money here, to be honest. I mean, I will say this: I probably will never do a Patreon. Not never say never; it could happen, but in my heart, I don't feel right asking people for money. If the content in the YouTube channel is the same as the Patreon, then what's the difference? How do you separate the two? But I would like more people to interact because it makes us more excited. Trust me.
Yes.
When I see comments or whatever and interactions, it's like, let's take it back to the video store. It's the digital version of that, where we're sharing information and we're getting excited about stuff. It makes me want to do more of these videos.
And it teaches us as well with showing people what we know. Sometimes you learn from people.
Yeah, and I am going to start to do, and I already have. Malcolm and I, we did comedies. We did a Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Yep.
We're going to still do some comedies. We're going to do Running Scared with Billy, Crystal, and Gregory Hines. We're going to do Summer School. We're going to do, starting Monday, we're doing science fiction. We're doing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. We're going to do all the theatrical releases. I don't feel like the TV show is going to be way too hard to do any of those. They're just too long. But we're going to do Episode 1 through 9. We're going to do Solo, and we're going to do Rogue One. So we're going to do all the theatrical releases in order of chronological. Just I feel like
we're going to do Star Wars: The Christmas Special.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen it, but I'm sure it's up on YouTube somewhere, right? And it's awful. I'm heard it's just terrible.
It's going to be a Christmas special.
We are going to do Episode 1, and then we'll move on to Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and and then we'll do Solo and Rogue One and the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. And I'm excited because we mentioned those films in passing in other videos. I'm like, no, we need to focus on them.
Yeah.
And it's not all going to be hate. I don't know what Malcolm feels about any of these films for the most part. So that's going to be kind of exciting just to kind of go into the video a little bit blind as far as thoughts. I don't want it to be a hate fest. I want it to be balanced at positive and negative. But if a movie doesn't sit well with somebody, I want you to be able to say what you want, or if you love it. And there'll be some banter. We could throw some.
I'll be honest, there's some I'm a little bit mixed on.
Sure.
But one mixed on with them will make sense compared to, like, I'm not going to go, oh, I hated this movie because of this. I'll probably say, look, I had a problem with this. What do you think of that? Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. But that was years ago. So I might watch it again now and go, oh, I like that a little bit better than I did the last time. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, I'm on a Star Wars kick. I just watched the first season of The Acolyte, which is like the prequel. It's even before Phantom Menace, And I want to say, if I'm wrong, somebody out there say something. There was a shot, spoiler alert. I need to make a banner for spoiler alert. In one scene in The Acolyte, they showed somebody, remember, this is a long time ago. I think it's Darth Plagueis, which we've never, as far as, I don't know the books well, so forgive me for that, but I know in the cinematic world, we've heard of Palpatine or, talk about him, but not like seen him in physical form. And there was a hooded figure that popped up in one of the episodes. I think it's Plagueis, which he is like we've only heard about him, right? And maybe season 2 we'll actually get to see him. And then Yoda finally does pop up too. So yeah, I'm a Star Wars geek as well as, horror. We'll have bloody bits, we'll have sci-fi bits, we'll have comedy bits, and
and big tits.
I wish we could do that. We'll have to find another channel for that. That would be
That's the
nice.
Patreon. That's the Patreon coming.
Is it the
big
Patreon,
test
though?
ones.
Can't you get in trouble with Patreon too, though? You have to be careful.
No, if you do, if it's as long as people are over 18 when they're on there, it's fine.
Okay, so I put my foot in my mouth about never doing a Patreon. I would do a Patreon, very good price, not gouging, to talk about the adult titles. Like right now, we talked about Vinegar Syndrome, and I went over to the Meloscene site, which is their adult site, but I didn't want to chance anything, so I didn't bring it up on screen. I can move that over to Patreon and do like a separate video, maybe like a half-hour long, where we focus on those new releases. So that is something to consider. I don't even know how to work Patreon. I have to do
One of the things we could do if we did the Patreon is we could do a thing called Rate That Ass.
Rate that DATS ASS.
Yeah, rate that ass.
As long as I don't get in trouble, I have to look at the guidelines and the rules and regulations, but that would be a Patreon worth doing because it's not something you can do on YouTube without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But thank you, everybody. Come back Monday, 2:00 Western time. I know it's really late where Malcolm's at, so I'm going to let him go.
Oh, yes, 1:30.
Yeah, it's getting really late. Thank you, everybody. And we will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for watching, guys.